Welcome to the stream. So we've got Twitch open, we got YouTube open. You know, back in my day I had all three things open. I had TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch. But now I'm prioritizing YouTube for OBS and Twitch for just viewing it. So as you can see in the background, you know, you got the Twitch. So was that too distracting for y'all? I mean, usually when I have this, it's blocking anyways. It's fine. Cool. I can read Twitch. Yep, I sure can. Yo, no. Hi. What's up? Everything's looking pretty good. Yeah, I mean, hey, we're gonna be live for today. Coffee's kind of kicking in. Gotta see how things go, alright? Yup, everything's looking fine to me, I'll be honest. So, what are we doing today? Ladies and gentlemen? Obviously, Minecraft. Oh, why are my ears blocked? Wait, both of my ears are blocked. Hello? Nah, it's good. It's good. It's coming back. Yo, both of my ears are blocked. Why is it always doing this to me? I don't understand. Oh well. I'll be honest though, the recent clip making has not been very good. Okay. What should be the... Hey. What's good? How's everybody doing, ladies and gentlemen? Is the webcam a bit too big? Nah, I think webcam's fine, is it? Is it? I mean, there you go, something like that. Alright. Everything's looking decent. I mean, hey, you know. PC's running fine, but we're not playing no PC games today. Is everything alright? Hold on. Bro, both of my ears are blocked. This is stupid. Oh, I clicked. No, hold on. I clicked the wrong thing. Boom. Let me just quickly check if the audio's alright. As you know, we go to the NCS as usual. Why are my ears blocked? Hold on, if I yawn. Okay, everything's... Yo, both of my ears are blocked. This is stupid. Why is it always doing this to me? What's a good NCS song? This one? Cartoon?
This is a story.
Wow, both of my ears are blocked.
One
What's...
day, Marie said, let's go on a family holiday. But we didn't tell Brutus.
Hey, no one wants to watch an ad, bro. Hello? Why are my ears blocked? What is this dumb... Okay, both ways are still blocked. This is so stupid. But the ducking's working. That's good. Okay, that should have got rid of the blocked ears, I think.
Exaggerated, that's what you assume. story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance, not the life I want to live. I want to take it all, standing tall, fear outweighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless.
Alrighty, I think everything's looking good. Just browsing the thing. Hold on, let's see if Mr. Nightmare's got anything good lately. It's the morning, it's cold. My ears are blocked, but let's have a look. Does Mr. Nightmare have anything good for us today? Oh, end of summer horror stories. Both my ears are blocked. Honestly, I don't think we should do such a long one. Let's see if there's like a short horror story. Horror story. Just to get a little warm up. Cotton market horror story. What's the tag on? What? What these are kind of weird, eh? Scary recordings found in the dark web. You're right. Should I look at it?
Scary recordings found on the dark web. Part 1. Scary record.
I don't get it. What was that? It's a mask? Huh? What kind of mask is that? When your man's just a friend. Fine. Huh? Yo, what's up, KV? We're looking at scary stuff right now. I'm not sure if you want to look at it. How is this scary? Yeah, there's obviously another mask. There's two masks. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, let's see if we can find something scary to look at for the first 30 minutes of the show. Why is this Hindi? Hold on, let's have a look at this real quick. Oh, got an ad. Both ways are blocked. That's okay. It'll get rid of itself. Oh my goodness, they keep giving me ads, chat. It is what it is. How long is this ad? Oh my goodness. Don't dox me. Alright, let's have a look at this video. I thought you said you can't look at YouTube chat. Nah. Right now I can, because that was the other stream. As you can see from the title, this title is Real Talk. The title isn't YouTube chat thing. So I can read YouTube chat. Also my ears are blocked, so if I sound weird, it is what it is. Alright. Let's have a look at this video, shall we?
साइकिल चलाते चलाते रघु ने एक बार
I can't understand that language. Wait, is it?
उसने देखा कि राख के रंग का आसमान बादलों से घिर रहा है.
Bro, I literally can't understand that language. Yeah, we literally cannot. Okay, when you find something scary though, why is everything in Hindi? can it be in English? Why is it Hindi? I can't spell. GG. English. Let's have a look. Anything spooky that I could get rid of, because you're not fine. We might just go to Mr. Nightmare real quick. Lock in. Alright, here we go. 3 disturbing true end of summer horror stories. Alright. Let's have a look, shall we? Wow, my ears are blocked. Here we go, chat. Let's have a look. And then we're gonna play some Minecraft afterwards. You know what I mean?
This happened just last week, during my final week at home before heading back to college. I've been debating whether to even write about it, but I can't stop thinking about what might be happening at home. My parents recently moved after I graduated high school. They'd been talking about downsizing for years.
Okay.
Once I was heading off to college, they finally pulled the trigger.
What?
The timing meant I'd only been to the new place a handful of times. My parents had given me the basic tour when they first bought it, pointing out where everything was and explaining some of the quirks of an older home. One thing they specifically mentioned was that the house didn't have a basement, just a crawl space for utilities. They seemed pretty definitive about that, so I never gave it much thought. My parents had left the night before for a week-long vacation,
Okay.
so I had the place to myself. The first night I noticed anything strange was a Tuesday. I was lying in bed, trying to fall asleep, when I heard this tapping sound coming from directly below the floor. It was consistent, both rhythmically and volume-wise. At first, I thought it might be the heating system or maybe pipe settling, but it didn't stop, which made me second-guess myself. I should mention that the room I'm sleeping in is on the first floor of the house, so the sounds were definitely coming from underground.
Okay, so go check it out.
I got up and walked around the room, trying to pinpoint where exactly the sound was coming from.
Smart.
It seemed to be coming from everywhere beneath the floor. What made it so disturbing was that according to my parents, there was supposed to be nothing down there but a crawl space. The idea that I was hearing sounds from below ground level when there supposedly wasn't any livable space down there was genuinely unsettling. Eventually, the tapping finally stopped, and I was able to fall asleep. When I woke up the next morning, I figured that would be the end of it. I had probably just been hearing old house sounds or an animal scuttling around in the crawl space. But I was dead wrong. Later that night, around the same time, I started hearing that same tapping sound again, only this time, it was noticeably louder.
Huh?
I explained it away and just went to sleep, but I remember feeling a lot more uncomfortable that night than the first. When the noises started up a third time in a row, I knew something was seriously wrong. There was a considerable escalation that night. Instead of just tapping, I heard dragging and scraping sounds too.
So that is like when you would call the police to like check it out yourself? Wait, have you not entered a crawl space yet? Like during the day, you're not gonna check it out?
Like some kind of animal raking its claws against something and occasionally dragging something. That's the best way I can describe what I was hearing. I kept trying to...
Yeah, sorry, chat. My nose is like runny for some reason. What the actual... Bruh. Oh my goodness. Alright, chat. Last time we knew that this worked. Apparently, chewing gum might work. So, we got chewing gum now. Maybe that'll fix the blocked ears. You know what I mean? We get 2 of them things, and then we're gonna continue the video. Yeah. Last time the chewing gum worked. I think it's actually gonna work. So it is what it is. Sorry, okay, hold on. Chicken jockey? What you talking about? Alright, back to the video. So, context was, this person is living in a house with like some kind of crawl space. They didn't check it. Probably a squatter living in it. Maybe a homeless guy. Let's have a look.
Rationalize what I was hearing against what I knew about the house. The logical part of my brain kept insisting there had to be a reasonable explanation, but I couldn't think of one. The sounds were way too clear and way too purposeful to dismiss away as normal house sounds anymore. I started wondering if maybe my parents had been wrong about the basement thing.
Did your parents and you not check the basement yet? Like, what's going on?
Or if there was some kind of utility access I didn't know about. Either way, it was freaky sitting in that dark room with nothing but scraping and tapping to keep me company. The next morning, I told my parents about what had been going on. My dad immediately told me to check the crawl space for animals.
So you're saying on the first night or the second day you didn't check the crawl space yet? You're only gonna check it now? You only gonna check it now?
Worried that maybe something had gotten in there that shouldn't have. I really didn't want to check down there, but figured I didn't have much of a choice. The crawl space entrance is right under the porch, so I had to get my hands dirty to investigate it properly. And although I was holding my breath the entire time, terrified at what I'd find down there.
How much is the way you currently speak costing you in your personal life and in your career?
Stop.
There was nothing. Not even any animals. My dad seemed satisfied with that explanation and told me not to worry about it anymore. But personally, I was unsatisfied and honestly kind of frustrated with the lack of answers. I decided to look for other possible explanations. Maybe there was some kind of external access around the house I'd missed, or evidence of animals getting in somewhere else. As I was walking the perimeter, I noticed a pile of old construction materials leaning against the side of the house. Lumber, tarps, concrete blocks.
Some homeless man's been living in your house, bro. GG.
Stuff like that. They looked like they'd been there for a while. Maybe left over from some previous renovation project. It wasn't like I hadn't noticed this stuff until then. I just always kind of overlooked them since I never had a reason not to. I started moving materials around, thinking maybe they were covering up some kind of opening that animals could use to get out of the house. What I found instead was much, much worse. Hidden behind the construction materials was a storm door that had been completely concealed. It was partially painted over, and obviously hadn't been used in a long time, but it was definitely a legitimate entrance. I opened it and found a set of concrete steps leading down into what was unmistakably a basement. I stood there in shock. My parents had been completely wrong about the house not having one. I didn't want to go down there. I really didn't, but I did anyway.
No, you should have like... What the police is on. Well, no, not police, but like...
In the limited amount of time I was down there, I realized 2 things.
You're not alone.
Someone had clearly been living in that basement, which I could tell from the empty food containers scattered about.
GG.
And 2, whoever had been living down there was not a normal homeless person, which I could tell from the markings that were scratched into the wood foundation. There were scratch marks, they looked like tallies, on one of the pillars, with what looked like demonic drawings on
GG.
another. Drawings of people and animals, but in a seriously messed up way. Stuff I don't want to repeat here. I didn't stay down there any longer than I had to.
Smart.
It was and still is the freakiest scene I've ever stumbled upon. I immediately called my parents to tell them what I had found. They were completely shocked and said they had no idea there was a basement, let alone... that someone had been living in
You know, before you would like get the house, wouldn't you like have a full sweep of the place? How do you not notice
it. My dad asked me 100 times if I was sure that there was no one currently in there, and I reassured him that there wasn't.
It probably is.
And he said they'd cut their vacation short and come home immediately. The first thing I did after hanging up was go out and buy a heavy-duty padlock. I secured the storm door
Okay, smart. Smart.
from the outside, thinking that would solve the problem and keep whoever had been staying there from coming back. That same night, I was woken up by aggressive banging and rattling coming from outside.
Yeah, someone trying to get in.
I instantly knew what it was. Someone was trying to get back into the basement and was clearly frustrated that the door was now locked. The banging was so loud and violent that I was afraid they might actually break the door down. I remember freezing up as my heart started to race. I couldn't move. The banging stopped, and that unfroze me. I crept over to the window and looked out just in time to see a figure sprinting across the backyard into the darkness. I couldn't make out any details about who it was, but seeing them flee made the whole situation feel more real and threatening. The rest of the night was kind of a blur, honestly.
I wouldn't even stay at home anymore. Can you send a link to the Discord? Of course, KV. Got you, hold on. Got you, fam. Got you. Hey, that first story is kind of good. Honestly, the guy's pretty smart. To a degree. He's kind of smart. At the same time, though, like, not gonna lie, if I saw some kind of demonic crazy things in my basement, sure, I'd lock it. But honestly, I wouldn't actually stay at the house anymore. Probably wouldn't stay at the house, to be honest. I'd probably, like, not stay there anymore. Until, like, because obviously the person's gonna come back because you heard the tapping and stuff, so. Yeah, it's a bit, like, damn, bro. So far, it's not bad. I got you. Here you go. Am I not on the right? Is that the Discord link? Hold on, my bad. I got you there, hold on. And we're gonna go straight to like, I think we're gonna try a new game today, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, let's try herding. On the Xbox, we're gonna try herding out, 100%. I did look at that yesterday with Versa, so. Boom, there's a link. Alright, anyways, let's go back to the video.
Mostly because I was so terrified and shaken up, as much as I hate to admit it. The police did a thorough search of the house, including the basement, but obviously they found nothing. They couldn't do much beyond promising to increase patrol in the area. My parents came home the next day, and they insisted that everything would be fine now that they were back. They said they'd figure out a more permanent solution together, and that I shouldn't worry about it anymore. I left for college the following morning as planned.
The Discord's expired. Alright. Hold on, chat. Go help my boy KV out. What's going on? Ain't no way it's expired. Nah, it shouldn't be expired. I just clicked on it. It didn't expire, bro. Really? I mean, if I go to Control Shift. I'm not a robot. Oh my. It says it's invalid or what? Is it? I don't. I got you. If this doesn't work, then it's on you if it doesn't work. That should work though. Your link will never expire. Yeah, that link would never expire. Hold on, chat. Hold on. We're doing... I thought that link would work though. That's strange. It's on you. What, does it still not work? It's on you, you guess. Oh. I was gonna say. Link still works for me. Okay, anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's continue this. I think we'll go to the next story, right?
But I was, and still am, extremely unsettled by the whole experience. It felt wrong to leave my parents there alone.
Yeah.
Especially since we have zero information about the person who has literally been living in our house for who even knows how long. It's only been a few days since I left, and I've been anxiously waiting to hear from my parents about whether anything else has occurred.
Your parents are dead. GG.
So far, nothing has, but that hasn't put me at ease at all. I can't stop thinking about those awful markings I found in the basement.
When I click on it, it shows the invite is either invalid or expired, and then it says join hundreds of people on Discord. I think, KV, I think you might need a Discord. I think it's because you probably need a Discord account, I think. Let me quickly test out the link real quick. I'm gonna test that real quick, hold on. Hold on. Pin message. Copy that link. Let me test it out real quick. Yeah, the link works. KV, it's on you, I think. Yeah, the link works. It's all good. Should I go to YouTube? What's up, Versa? I can still read your messages, Versa. Don't worry about it. I can read both. It's just that it's streaming on OBS. You have an account? That's strange. I don't know, KV. All I know is that the link's working for me. I'm not sure why it's not working for you. I mean, that is a brand new link I just created, so it has to be on you or something. I'm not exactly sure. Anyways. Should we even continue the video? I swear we barely paid attention to it. So they found like a homeless person doing demonic stuff in the basement that they had no idea of. And now he's concerned for his parents or something. GG. What would you even do at that point? Did a homeless crazy guy's been living in your basement that you didn't know about? I have no idea what you're doing in that situation. Honestly, I wouldn't even go back to that house. You know what I would do? Build a goddamn gate. Build a goddamn gate. Build a fence. You know what I mean? That's the only way I could think of to stop that man from coming into your house, bro. It's because this person's house is open, so they can literally enter. What did I say about having compounds, chat? Have compounds. So if you have like a gate and fence, the only way that person can get into the door is via the gate, and by then, you know, GG.
Especially those sadistic drawings. I can't even begin to imagine what that person has been doing down there. If I'm being
sacrifices,
I'm really scared that something else is gonna happen.
You should probably like leave, move out, or build more security. How many ads am I getting on YouTube? Oh my goodness. Story 2, let's lock in. Let's lock in.
I grew up in a small town a few miles from the Montana-Idaho border. I was on the Montana side. Nothing much ever happens out here, and honestly, that's part of why I never left. This happened a really long time ago, before the whole world had a cell phone and was chronically online. To be honest, my area hasn't changed much at all since then, which is part of the reason why what I'm about to tell you is so fresh in my memory. It was the very end of August, one of those final days of summer when you can already feel the seasons turning.
Nice.
That morning, I was driving my usual route to work, just a 2-lane stretch of highway that cuts through farmland and low hills. Around 15 minutes out, I spotted a car pulled off on the shoulder. It was a light blue, older model sedan, and it looked like it had been there for a while. It was just sitting there on the shoulder. No hazards on, no one standing outside, just sitting there, angled slightly toward the ditch. Now listen, I'm no fool, but I am the type of guy to help a person in need. It's just how I was raised.
Okay.
As I got closer, I slowed down a bit to get a better look. The car wasn't running, and I couldn't see anyone inside. No one in the driver's seat, passenger seat, or the back. It was definitely strange, especially that early in the morning, but it wasn't exactly alarming. People break down and walk off for help all the time out here. I figured maybe someone had car trouble and headed off to the nearest farmhouse. So I kept driving. I had to get to work, and it didn't seem like an emergency. In all honesty, I kind of forgot about the whole thing by the time I got off. But as I was driving home, I saw that exact same car again, in the exact same spot.
Okay, someone abandoned it.
The only difference was that this time, the driver's side door was wide open.
Someone broken. Someone broken.
It hadn't been like that in the morning. I
Yes.
was sure of it. I slowed down again, craning my neck a little as I passed, but there was still no sign of anyone. No one walking nearby, no tracks I could see, just that same old car, sitting there with the door hanging open like someone got out in a hurry and never came
Oh, maybe someone just tried to break in.
back. That time, I didn't shrug it off. I pulled over once I had signal again and called the non-emergency line. I told the operator where and what I had seen, and she thanked me before saying someone would check it out. When I was driving into work the next day, the car was finally gone, so I figured that would be the end of it.
Okay.
About a week later, though, while I was eating breakfast, I saw something on the local news that caught my attention. Reportedly, the police were investigating a missing person case. Something about a vehicle found abandoned along a rural stretch of highway just outside town. The things they were saying lined up exactly with what I had seen. I instantly connected the dots and turned up the volume on my TV. They didn't release the guy's name, but they said the car was registered to a man from out of town who never showed up to where he was supposed to. The thing was, according to the authorities, there was no sign of foul play and there were no witnesses to the situation. I've always been slightly suspicious of the media, so I wasn't sure I believed the story the news people were giving. Either way, it was eerie that I had basically been wise to the situation right when it happened. Come to think of it, I might have been the first person, or even the only person to have reported that car on the side of the road at all. It was definitely a weird feeling. I tried to move on with my life, but I just couldn't. The curiosity was getting the better of me. Like I said before, not much happens out here, so something as odd as this was far too peculiar for me to just ignore. The next morning, I called my brother up. I'll just call him Benjamin. He's a local firefighter, not in my exact town, but close enough that we usually hear about the same stuff. That's just kind of how things are around my neck of the woods.
Okay.
I wanted to ask him if he had any information from the police department, because I knew for a fact they often communicate with each other. He told me that they had gotten some memo about it from the sheriff's office. Something about a vehicle found abandoned and obviously the missing person.
Okay.
I asked him if the police were planning to do anything about it.
Probably not.
He said he didn't know for sure.
Probably
But
not.
they'd probably organize a search at some point. He didn't have many details beyond that. I told him we should help out and maybe see if a few of the guys from the station would be willing to join in too.
What?
At first, he was confused.
Yeah, I'm confused
why
too.
I was so invested in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I eventually convinced him.
Why?
And by the way, I'm not really sure why I was so adamant about it either. I guess I just felt like I had some personal connection to it.
But you don't.
I didn't even know how we'd coordinate with the police and organize the search, so I let my brother handle all of that himself. Within a couple days, and with permission of course, he pulled something together. The police were already planning on doing a search, and they appreciated the added help. It wasn't anything too grand, just a few officers, some off-duty firefighters, and me. The search was centered around a shallow wooded patch and a couple of old irrigation ditches that ran just off the shoulder.
Let me guess, they found a dead body.
It was the kind of terrain that wouldn't look like much from a passing car, but once you were on foot, it was clear how easy it'd be for someone to get turned around or slip out of sight. We split off into pairs to be as efficient as possible. I, of course, paired up with my brother. About an hour into the search, one of the pairs radioed in. They spotted something through a break in the brush.
Dead body.
We all converged on their location as quickly as possible. It turned out to be an old maintenance shack, and from the looks of it, one that probably hadn't been used in years. The whole thing was half sunken into the ground, with overgrowth curling up the sides. From the road, you'd never even know it was there.
Yo, what's up, Hierophant?
Hanging slightly open, and I could see that the lock had been snapped off. Inside, it was dark and musty, the way you'd expect an uninhabited space to feel. But as my eyes adjusted, I started noticing signs that someone had been in there recently. There were empty water bottles and food wrappers all over the place in a way that seemed deliberate. The search team spread out to check for additional evidence, both inside and around the perimeter of the shack. One of the firefighters said he spotted something by the back wall, so the rest of us went over to check it out. There was a small, clean hole in one of the wooden boards, just above floor level. The hole had sharp, splintered edges that looked nothing like the kind of damage you'd expect from weather or rot. It looked exactly like a bullet hole. We searched thoroughly, both inside the shack and around it, looking for a shell casing, a slug, or any signs of blood. But there was nothing. Just that single, unexplained hole in the wall that did make sense given the complete lack of other evidence. The officers radioed in the discovery to dispatch, and I could tell from their tone that this had moved beyond a simple missing person case. The lead officer gathered all of us together and said they'd take it from there.
Seems like the missing man. Yeah, missing man probably got executed. GG. Yo, what's up? That's good, KV. You tried another account. On the 14th, it's your birthday. That's good, Pyrovan. Great to hear. Everyone's got their birthday. Yo, this story here. You know, it's very judgmental that he like did a little search party and stuff, but you know what? It looks like the missing person did. RIP. He got executed. He probably got baited into pulling over. He probably got like dragged into the woods, and then whoever killed him dragged him to the empty shack and then killed him and hit the body. GG. Cold word idea.
Then he specifically asked me to leave, since I was the only civilian there.
Oh.
I felt dismissed and frustrated, but I didn't have much choice except to comply, so I left.
Fair enough.
When I called Benjamin later that evening, he gave me vague responses about what had happened after I left. Eventually, he admitted that the firefighters had also been asked to leave shortly after I departed.
Yep.
The police had basically cleared everyone out and took over the scene entirely. Over the following weeks, I waited for updates. Benjamin's contacts at the department claimed they didn't know any details about the case, which I found strange. The local news never followed up beyond the original missing person report. It was like the whole thing had just been quietly dropped. Eventually, I decided to drive back and find the shack on—
Whoa. What is this? What did the guy just do? So you didn't hear anything about it for weeks? Because obviously it's a private matter. You are not the police, you're a civilian. And of course your brother's a firefighter, so your brother ain't gonna know much about it too. It's in the police ecosystem. You decide to drive back yourself? GG, he's dead. He's dead. Why would you drive back there?
my own. I was certain—
Curiosity kills. He drove. Yo, he knows that something is bad. The police secured the area. After 2 weeks, he got no report of it. He wants to go. After you play Minecraft, do you want to play Roblox next stream? I haven't played Roblox in a while. We're kind of just warming up here. I'm getting warmed up. The block there is kind of going away. We're just gonna finish this video. But like I said, this guy here, the narrator, he drove back there. What's wrong with him?
I remembered exactly where it was. So one day, I drove along the highway until I found the spot where we had begun the search.
GG. He's
I
dead.
spent hours walking the area where I was absolutely certain the shack should be. I followed the irrigation ditches to a T. Everything from the terrain to the sky looked exactly the same as it had that day. but there was nothing. No shack in sight. I started questioning my own memory. I figured there was a slight chance that maybe I wasn't looking in the exact right place, but even if that were the case, the shack should have been somewhere in that immediate range. I tried a different section of the search area, then another, but still found nothing. It was so strange. Stranger than I'm describing it now. I remember standing there in that overgrown scrubland, completely alone with the exception of the gentle breeze that whisked past me every so often.
I mean, it's been like 2 weeks, you know? Maybe the government just got rid of the building. Maybe the government and police didn't even touch it. Maybe the people that organized, like the people... It's been 2 weeks, man. Anything could happen. Sure, the whole shack disappeared. They probably got rid of it, or they did.
Peaceful, yeah, but strange. The only other explanation I could come up with was that maybe the county had removed the shack entirely.
Probably.
It wouldn't have been too difficult to excavate the thing and haul it away, but that seemed like an extreme response to what was supposed to be a routine missing person case. Those were the only two options, though. Either my memory had misled me, or the shack was no longer there. I left shortly after that. There wasn't much else I could do, really.
Yeah.
I was left with this uncomfortable feeling that something important happened during those final days of summer. Something I was briefly allowed to witness before being shut out to completely. Every year when August ends and I feel that familiar shift in the air, I think about that abandoned car and that bullet hole in the wall of a shack that may or may not have even existed.
That story was not even scary. I think it's kind of just, you know, something happened. It is what it is. You know, it's not his business, honestly. He's not the police. Plus, 2 weeks later, the shack's gone. Like, anything can happen in 2 weeks, bro. Literally anything can happen in 2 weeks. So, I mean, they either, like I said, the police and the government got rid of the building. You know, honestly, it's not even a big deal. Probably it might be the council. Might be the council, whoever owns the little forest here. Probably like, yeah, yo, do you know there's a shack over here? Yeah, get rid of it. Alright. Done. Back to nature. You know what I mean? Not the best video so far. But hey, we gotta end it with story 3 by Christian W. My nose is running. I swear. Is it because it's cold? What's the temperature? Temperature's 18. What's going on? Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Your computer's about to die? Hey, no problem, Pyro fan. Have you played 99 Nights in the Forest? Yeah, I did. I actually have. If you watch the stream... Oh, you're gonna go as well, KV? Yeah, see you both. See you both, yeah, all good. Yeah, I completed the game with 99 Nights in the Forest, actually. If you check the YouTube channel, I actually completed the game. It was like 3 hours long. We did it. Story 3, lock in. What? How many ads have I seen in this one video?
This is an iPhone.
Does it go in half?
Take a look at the hinge on the back.
Samsung. I would definitely switch.
How gorgeous is that, you know?
Need support to fall or stay
Yo,
asleep?
how many...
Try Go Healthy, Go Magnesium, Sleep 60s, 1990.
Alright, last story chat, and then we're gonna go into a game.
This happened last August, and it's completely changed how I feel about solo camping. When I was a kid, my dad had this end of summer tradition where he'd take me and my brother on a camping trip sometime around mid-August. Nothing elaborate, just a few days in the wilderness to mark the end of summer before school started back up. I'm in my late 20s now with a steady girlfriend, and I've moved on with my life in most ways, but that end of summer camping tradition is something I've tried to keep alive. Sometimes I can convince my dad and brother to join me, but usually it's just me going solo because my girlfriend absolutely hates camping. I don't want to drag her somewhere she'll be miserable for 3 days, so I've gotten used to the solitude. For this particular trip, I'd found what looked like a perfect spot on Google Maps, some random isolated clearing that wasn't a registered campsite or anything official. It was far enough away from any roads or trails that I figured I'd have complete privacy for a few days.
Okay.
I like the idea of actually being alone out there, not surrounded by RVs and families with screaming kids like at the official sites. I downloaded the map so I'd be able to access it without service, something I always make sure to do.
Smart.
The hike in took maybe 2 hours. I'm in decent shape, but I was carrying all my gear, so I took my time. I hiked until I found a suitable place to pitch my tent. It was pretty much exactly what I'd been hoping for. A nice flat area surrounded by thick pine forest with a little clearing that gave me a good view of the sky. That first night was perfect, honestly. Just me, my thoughts, and nobody asking me about work or when I was getting engaged or any of that. I made a small fire, cooked some freeze-dried pasta thing that actually wasn't half bad, and did some stargazing. The next morning, I decided to hike to a nearby river I'd spotted on my map. I figured I'd try to catch a fish for dinner. It would feel more authentic than just eating the packaged food I brought for the whole trip. Plus, it would kill some time, and out there you've got nothing but time. I basically spent the whole day at the river.
I mean, hey, so far so good. I mean, he's doing the outdoor boys strategy, you know? Camping outside, solo. You know, he found a good spot. He already spent a night there without a problem. Now he's gonna go fishing in the river. That's straight up just... Hey, if you had a little GoPro, that's a YouTube video right there.
In mind, it was nice and peaceful, and even though I'm not much of a fisherman, I got lucky and actually caught a decent-sized brook trout. I threw it in my handheld cooler and started making my way back to camp. I was feeling pretty good about myself.
Yeah.
My dad would have been proud. The problem was that I'd completely mistimed the sunset and underestimated how far I'd hiked. What should have been a leisurely walk back to my campsite turned into a trek through the woods after the sun had already gone down.
Ooh, R.I.P.
Within maybe 20 minutes, it went from that golden hour light to basically full darkness. I had a headlamp, but the terrain was unfamiliar enough that I was moving pretty slowly. At one point, I noticed a faint light in the distance. It appeared to be swaying back and forth in this rhythmic pattern, like someone was walking with a lantern or a flashlight. At first, I was actually relieved. Maybe there was another camper out there and we could help each other navigate back to wherever we were supposed to be. After all, if you're hiking through overgrown wilderness at that time of night, you've definitely screwed something up or mistimed something, just like I had. As I watched the light, I realized it was getting closer to me, meaning whoever was holding it was walking in my direction. Not wanting to spook them, I decided to announce my presence and yelled out a friendly hello, followed by asking if they were camping too. I kept my tone as friendly and unconfrontational as possible. The light immediately stopped swaying.
Uh-oh.
I watched as it sat perfectly still for several seconds, which struck me as odd. Then, without warning, it shut off completely, which struck me as even...
I mean, let's be honest though. If we look at the other perspective of that other person, imagine you chilling in the forest, right? With your little torch. You see a white light in the distance. You're like, huh? Hey, is there another person in the forest? And then the person says, hey, are you camping too? In a not creepy voice. Yeah, I'll turn off my lantern. I'll be like, yo, hold on now. Turn off the torch, turn off the lantern. There's some random guy in the forest. What if he owns it? You know, like, gotta look at both perspectives, you know? The guy in the story, he's like, that's weird, he turned off the torch. But then if we looked at it from the other guy's perspective, we'll be like, okay, smart, turn off the torch. Because we don't know who that guy is. There's a white light. We don't know his intentions. Both of them are, you know, it's like, both are...
Otter. Another few seconds passed, and I stared at the now pitch black spot where the light had just been. And then, out of nowhere, I heard this violent crashing through the underbrush, like someone running full speed through the forest, but not toward or away from me. Off to the left, perpendicular to where I was standing. It was unmistakable. My heart was going pretty good at that point. The whole thing was really, really disturbing. I can't even begin to describe how uncomfortable I was. Everything about it was just so wrong. Why would someone run away like that? Even if I'd startled them, the normal reaction would be to say something back, right? Or at the very least back away slowly, not spring through the woods in the dark. I tried rationalizing it the whole way back to my campsite. The best explanation I could come up with was that I had somehow scared them by calling out.
Probably did. You probably scared him off, you know? Might have been a kid actually, you never know.
After all, they had no way of knowing that I meant no harm. And
True. Hey, you know, smart. Like I said, both perspectives, man. I would be like, if you were the other guy and you saw a white flashlight, a white headlamp looking at you and then saying hello, it's kind of like, yo, I don't, you know? Both don't know each other's intentions, so both have to presume that both of them are dangerous.
Bring a stranger in the middle of nowhere at night could be frightening for anyone. But still, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The secluded nature of the area made it unlikely that there would be other campers around, and most people would at least respond when someone called out to them, let alone in a friendly way. I picked up the pace and made it back to my campsite.
Wait, didn't he say that he just went to a random spot on Google Maps? You know? He's not on a private land, is he? Because if he's on private land, and that was like GG, you know? He did say he avoided like he said he avoided the like usual camping spots, so.
But I was so unsettled that I didn't even bother making a fire to cook the fish. I just sat in my tent, ate some of my packed food, and tried to read my book before calling it an early night. I'm normally a pretty heavy sleeper, especially when I'm camping and exhausted from hiking all day. So when I woke up randomly in the middle of the night, I knew something was off. I listened to my surroundings for a few minutes, but everything sounded normal. Just the usual forest noises you'd expect. Before trying to go back to sleep, I realized I needed to step outside to relieve myself. I unzipped my tent and started to poke my head out. The moon was pretty bright, enough that I could see the clearing without my headlamp. The moment I got a clear view of my campsite, I froze.
This man.
There was someone standing there, maybe 15 feet from my tent. I couldn't make out any details.
Hey, who's there?
Just the silhouette of a person where there absolutely should not have been a person. They were just standing there motionlessly, like they were watching my tent. I'd never been in a situation like that before, and I honestly had no idea what to do. My mind was racing, but my body wouldn't move. Surely, whoever was there had seen or heard me unzip the tent, and they probably also knew that I was not aware they were standing there. I was likely moments away from being attacked. As soon as I started thinking along the lines of life and death, my survival instinct took over, and I was able to snap myself out of my haze. I reached for the switchblade I always kept by the entrance of my tent and called out loudly asking who was there. The moment I spoke, the figure started sprinting directly toward my tent, catching me completely off.
Oh, hold on now. Hey, get your gun. Hey, yo, hold on. He's following my strategy. Become the... Wait, what was that other nightmare videos I said? You know? Instead of running away like prey, you run straight at them instead and become the predator. Yeah, this man's following the same thing. I told you that catches people off guard, you know? You'd expect them to run. But if you run at them, it's gonna swap reverse.
No warning, just 0 to full sprint instantly.
Yo.
Shrieking in the shrill, unnatural scream that didn't even sound human. They hit me before I could even process what was happening.
Oh, damn.
The two of us started rolling around on the ground.
Yo, they're scrapping.
The guy, definitely a man judging by the voice, began clawing at my face like an animal. Not punching, literally clawing like he was trying to rip me to shreds. I managed to get the switchblade between us and sliced at his hand before dropping it.
Oh my goodness, what? This story just went in. They're actually fighting.
Struggle. Even though I hadn't gotten off the cleanest strike, cutting his hand was apparently enough, because he immediately started shrieking and got off of me. He went crashing through the woods again, only this time, I could hear him screaming or laughing or making whatever sick noise he was making. I sat there for who knows how long.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a human no more. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think that's no human anymore. I don't think that's a human. I don't think you encountered a human, buddy. I think you encountered something else.
Trying to process what just happened. My face was stinging from the scratches, and my hands were shaking uncontrollably. I could feel blood all over my face, but I wasn't sure if it was mine or his. I considered trying to hike back to my car immediately, but navigating through the woods in pitch black darkness seemed like an even worse idea than staying put. I only really had one option at that point. Spend the rest of the night sitting in my tent, switchblade in hand, listening to every little sound and expecting the man to come back at any moment. It was the longest night of my life, but I eventually made it to daylight. The second there was enough light to see, I packed up my gear as quietly as possible and hiked back to my car at a significantly faster pace than I had been going on the way in. As soon as I got to my car, I sped out of there without another thought. I thought about calling the police, but what would I even say? Some guy attacked me in the woods where I was camping illegally? They probably would have just told me that's what I get for camping alone in remote spots, so I didn't. The whole drive home, I kept thinking about how close I'd come to something really bad happening. If I hadn't had that knife, or if the guy hadn't run off when I cut him, things could have ended very differently. But that's not even the craziest part. The thing that still makes my head spin is just the fact that he was even there. Like, he obviously wasn't camping, and he obviously wasn't a normal person. That much was clear from the fact that he tracked me down in pitch black darkness and attacked me. And that scream, it honestly spooks me just thinking about how brutal it was. Definitely human, but twisted in some truly unnatural way. I haven't been solo camping since then, and I'm not sure I ever will again.
All these solo camping videos, man, they're always freaky. Yo, that was, I ain't gonna lie, the third story was actually pretty good, man. I ain't gonna lie. Yo, straight up. Hey, W the third guy though, he literally defended himself as well. Got his little blade, you know? He should have scrapped with the entity. I'm gonna call it entity because I don't really think it's a human anymore. Because what kind of human scratches? You know, you'll do some punching. You don't really scratch. So obviously that wasn't a human. You know, my dude might be tripping as well. Could have just been a little wolf. That doesn't make sense though. He obviously, human or not, you know, he survived. Should have had a camera out, recorded the whole thing. That's what I'm going to do in the future. When I do solo camping for YouTube, I'm going to have a camera for everything. So if I get killed by something, at least it'll be online. I'm not allowed to die. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was actually good. We haven't done a Missing Nightmare in a while. You know? It wasn't too bad. I'm not gonna lie, the last story was actually quite nice. W Mans though, he survived the night, he defended himself. Definitely didn't see a creature. The first story was like, first story is, you know, I wouldn't go back there, like GG, you know. And second story, what's the second story again? The second story was kind of just like government police stuff, you know. Missing people. But again, it's been like, yeah, story 2, you luckily the police didn't start. True. Look at this person. Story 2. You got lucky the police didn't start suspecting you in this case, as interested as you took it. Being wrongfully convicted and put in jail for life is one of the biggest... Oh, okay. Having a mentally ill person run full speed towards you, laughing like a psychopath in the middle of the forest. What is this comment? I work in retail. A customer made me cry today. I need this tonight. A distraction from that's customer service. Okay, it's a girl. I was gonna say. Hey, not bad video. It is what it is, you know. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I think we're gonna try that herding game now. Yeah. Yeah, okay, let's do it then, yeah. Thank you for watching the Little Mr. Nightmare video. Let's go straight into herding, shall we? Turn that Xbox on, lock it, and let me go quickly swap the HDMI cable. Is it swap? Alright. And then let me, since I'm still on Twitch, I can actually go on Twitch and change it still. I actually can still change the subject. On YouTube today. Hurdling? Is that what this game's called? We'll test it out though. I mean, we never played it before. Hurdling. Okay, cool. Look at Minecraft ready. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can. I'm still trying to practice the intro. You ready? Lock in. Alrighty. Ooh. Webcam's open. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Let's do a package unboxing. So, I guess we'll just do unboxing. Why not? You know what I mean? Yo, you can literally see everything with this face cam, huh? You can see everything. This is Twitch, by the way. Twitch. Oh! Ha ha ha. Okay, anyways. Let's try not to dox myself. Alright, see what's in the packaging, eh? What did I buy again? This is so dirty. What am I doing? This box is like incredibly dirty. I'm pretty sure this was literally only for streaming stuff. But, you know, we had to do what we had to do because of the new setup. And it was about time we had to buy some upgrades. So, more boxing. Echo. Oh. Echo. Fixed it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Handage with care. Something like that. Oh, okay. Close them scissors. What did I buy again? Oh. PB Tech Office. Oh, that's gonna dox me. Thanks. The total 600 New Zealand dollars. 600. Now, if you're wondering why that's $600, let's have a look at why this is $600 dues. What did I buy? A 5-meter power cable. So 600 New Zealand dollars. But I mean, it's kind of like gas. I had to buy it. This was for a setup. That's for the PC stuff. So cool. Now, what was so expensive? There we go. This is like $280. A 5 terabyte hard drive for streaming and videos. So, you know, one of these this probably lasts for like maybe a couple months. Depends on how much videos we make, but we'll be streaming every day and I archive the videos. So, yep, 5 terabytes WD Elements. W, you know, very, very reliable. I'm actually using one right now. And then, of course, I got an extra Seagate expansion. 5 terabytes. So that's like, that's literally the $600, by the way. This is literally it. These two will hold all the videos. Straight up. They usually last me around like a month or two. It depends on how long I stream. But yeah, usually each video is like nearly 100 gigabytes and stuff. So these two should probably end for the rest of the year. Easy. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Seagate expansion, WD Elements. Clean. Rightio, next up. Was that literally it? That was literally it. Oh, and this. This was cheap. Oh, that's literally it. That's literally all the package. Okay, my pants are dirty, GG, but, you know, I got this mouse pad as well. It was kind of extra. How much was this? This was $25, so this is, like, extremely cheap. But, you know, that mouse pad that I had on stream before was, like, black. And honestly, I kind of just bought this for the sakes of having a new mouse pad. What I've realized is a lot of my peripherals are white. I'm not even kidding. Actually, we should probably show you the setup, huh? I just realized a lot of my setup stuff is now white. Literally, mouse is all white. Actually, I can't really show it everyone else. Still very messy cables, but you know, now we got a grey mouse pad. That's cool. How delayed is a YouTube stream? Oh my goodness. Whoa, the YouTube live stream's like 3 minutes delayed. That's actually kind of crazy, I ain't gonna lie. There we go. A grey mouse pad from this NZ something something. Let's check out the quality. Oh, there we go. Just a... Oh, that's so strong. Yep. Totally doesn't smell like absolute chemicals. It's from this company. NZXT. Is that a New Zealand company? I don't know. All I know is that very wide and grey. Cool. Like I said, that's literally all in a box. Like again, the only reason it was so expensive was because those hard drives were like, well, yeah, but I mean, on stream we've opened a lot more expensive hard drives before. If y'all saw the lore back in the day, we had that Samsung T9, which was like $500 for like one. Oh no, $400 for one. So that was literally unboxing. Yeah. Alrighty. Hey, it is what it is, you know, you gotta just get what you gotta buy. All for streaming and recording and videos and stuff. Cool, I'll put that mousepad later because if I want to put that mousepad, I'm gonna have to lift everything up. Y'all want to see the peripherals? Y'all want to see the peripherals I'm rocking with? Look at this. We are using the controller. That's the mousepad I have right now. And yeah, that's literally it, just the mouse. I feel like the webcam's in a different spot now. I ain't gonna lie. Whatever, we'll be fine. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time we head on to Minecraft for the rest of the stream. Unless there's any other suggestions, but honestly, we gotta go to the nether. This is hardcore, so we might die. GG. Alright, lock in. Oh, I should probably change everything on Twitch. Change everything on Twitch. We're not playing hurdling anymore. We're playing hardcore. We're still trying to beat the Ender Dragon too. That's literally the whole purpose of this. I should wash my hands too. I should wash my hands. Everything's dirty. Yeah. Okay, let me go quickly wash my hands. Alright, I'll be back, chat. And I'm gonna move this entire box out of the way. Like, oh man. Alrighty. Can I even remember what I did yesterday? Yo, YouTube stream's so delayed. I think it's because the latency is not very low. Alright, cool, whatever. Just absolutely tragic. Now, as for the YouTube stream, it didn't really get much traction, I'm gonna be real. I think because everyone like I said, mainly my YouTube is majority Roblox people, and also maybe the timeline's a bit different. Majority of the people in YouTube are from shorts and stuff. So actually, you know, Versa was the only one that stuck around for the Twitch chat. Tojo was here for a bit. Yeah, YouTube was also alright. Again, the thing, yeah, it is. I'm gonna keep trying out YouTube because I think it's because YouTube needs to get the rhythm in, I guess. But I mean, yeah. Overall, though, it's not bad. Current views. Yeah. Cool. So tomorrow we're gonna probably. Yeah, tomorrow we're obviously gonna go back to the season 2, and then for yeah, herding's done, unless people in the comment section want herding. Besides that, I think we're gonna try up the PS5 Sword of the Sea. And then again, like in next week, Slime Rancher 2 is gonna be back. And I think we're probably gonna have to beat Minecraft. Yeah, that's probably like the new goal again. Beat Minecraft with a controller. Look, I can beat the game on keyboard and mouse. I'm gonna be real. Keyboard and mouse, I can beat that easily. That's why there's a whole point of using the controller. I'm like heavily disabled with the controller. Because one, I'm slow as. You know, and yeah, I'm just slow. Slow, can't craft fast. It is what it is. But yeah, that's the whole point. Challenge. Beat it on controller. Plus, since it's Minecraft Xbox Game Pass, y'all can see that it's like fresh. No, there ain't no cheating or no nothing. So yeah, that's basically tomorrow. I don't think there's gonna be any new Mr. Nightmare stuff. Again, overall, today's stream, not bad. Tested out YouTube. Multi-streaming method with the laptop worked to a degree. Yep, that's about it. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the stream. I'm gonna go now, alright? See you guys tomorrow. Thank you first for hanging out. I know you watched that death. Very tragic, but that's Minecraft for you. And then thanks to KV as well and Tojo for popping around. Hey, it is what it is. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.